one of the most surprising elements of the transfer window, Paul, was Tottenham making a late £70 million bid for Marc Guehi. Should Tottenham fans be frustrated that all of a sudden Daniel Levy seems to have these funds ready to go when they struggled through one of their worst periods of recent form this coming January, and obviously should have been spending much earlier?
You'd like to think they'd have been prepared for the window, but it was very much like a West Ham bid, wasn't it? It was a bid of, well, let's throw a bid out there and put it in the public domain, but with no real hope of getting the player. I mean, Palace have stated on numerous occasions that they're not interested in selling, especially not this window. Tottenham's transfer activity, I mean, Tell's going to be a good player. I think that was a good signing eventually. I think Ange Postecoglou played a big part in turning that around. The defensive reinforcements, have they got enough? That'll be the question that's asked, and time will tell. We'll see that. Kevin Danso coming in on loan. But Guehi would have been a great signing. That's the type of signing that if you mean business and you want players like that, you talk to Crystal Palace off the record, you say how much do you want for the player, and in the first week of January you go and sign him and do the deal. It was a deal that was never going to happen.
And Pete, having seen Tottenham's performances this season, a little bit of Johnny Cardoso, do you think they'll activate that crazy clause we heard about this summer to bring him to the club? Will that be one of their first moves this coming summer transfer window?
Yeah, it's a straightforward deal to do for Tottenham if they want to do it. As you said, they had that special clause inserted into the move when they sold Giovanni Lo Celso to Betis last year. They have got first refusal on Cardoso if they want to sign him in the summer. I think obviously there is a certain date that they have to activate that clause when I think it's the first few weeks of June. But Cardoso, he's just gone and signed a new contract at Real Betis. I don't think Spurs fans have got anything to worry about with that. It's not going to have any real effect on a possible departure this summer as well, with Tottenham's clause still remaining active. I think defensive midfield is still an area of the team that's of concern for Ange Postecoglou. I'm not sure he's totally convinced by Yves Bissouma. Obviously Bentancur has been a big miss this season with suspension and injury as well, and Matteo Sarr is still I think developing his game as well, and I think he's maybe better further forward as well in that respect. So Cardoso's had a very good season for Real Betis. He's been an ever-present in that side, and that's why he ended up getting a new contract from Betis earlier this month, just as a reward for his importance in that team as well. He's scored once and had one assist in 25 appearances for the Spanish club, but he's your perfect defensive midfielder. He just likes to sit in front of that back four, and considering the problems that Spurs have had with their back four and everything else and conceding goals this season, getting someone like Cardoso I'm sure will still be pretty high up on the priority list for Tottenham in the summer. So the deal's there to be done if they want to do it for, I think it's 25 million euros, 21 million pounds. So yeah, if Spurs want to go and do this deal early in June, the clause gives them the advantage over other clubs who are maybe looking at Cardoso.
And Paul, obviously you mentioned Matthias Tell moving on loan with an option to buy this coming summer for Tottenham. What kind of performances will it take to activate his buy clause this summer? Because it was quite an expensive clause to be put in there.
Yeah, listen, the Tottenham won the race. There was a lot of clubs looking at him. I think it's going to be a good signing for Tottenham. Obviously, they've got the head start getting a loan deal done. I think he's a really good player. I think you look at the way that his creativity, his dribbling. He's an old-fashioned type of attacking player. He's not afraid to dribble and take players on. Quite often we see players playing in a system where they're coached and they come inside a lot. He's a dribbler, he's a creator, and he's got a lot of pace. And for his age, I think Tottenham have looked at it as probably a long-term successor to Son. We know how old Sonny is. He's not going to go on forever. There's those type of places in the team, and it's certainly an improvement on Timo Werner. So that's obviously a deal that will come to an end at the end of this window. They're players that Ange likes. We've got Richarlison, his future's up in the air. You don't know what's going to happen with him. Brennan Johnson's another player in those type of areas. Kulusevski operates better in a 10, but the type of player that Tell is, I always say this: if you're going to bring a player in January, make sure you bring him better than what you've already got. And he ticks that box. He really does. And I think he's the long-term answer in that position for Tottenham. And I think the way that Ange plays and the way that he's going to be allowed to play in that Tottenham team, we'll probably see the best of him. I don't think he has to do a lot, in all honesty. I think Tottenham have made the mind up on the player, and he'll be a Tottenham player, so long as the finances are right come the end of the season. Performances would have to be really woeful for him not to secure a permanent deal with the reputation that he's got in the game already. It's a big coup for Tottenham to get that one over the line. I'm excited to see him play. And like I say, he's an improvement on Timo Werner, Richarlison, the players that are there. He's better than what they've got. He'll make the starting 11 stronger.
He got a nice recommendation from Harry Kane as well, so I'm sure that obviously will go down well with anybody with Tottenham, that Kane maybe had a little role in that move for Tell to choose Tottenham over other interested clubs.
There was talks about Kane today. I caught something this morning. There was something about his buyout clause has been released in Germany, hasn't it?
Yep.
So, but I thought did Tottenham have first buyback refusal on that, or am I wrong with that?
No, they've got matching rights, so if somebody comes in and offers something, they can match whoever the same offer. So they have got the first dibs on Harry Kane. If somebody else was to bid for him, they can match that as well. So yeah, right. I don't think Harry Kane's in any rush to leave Bayern Munich right now as well. But we do, probably being the romantics that we are in football, probably do expect him to return to Tottenham at some point and probably go for that Premier League goal scoring record.
Win the Bundesliga this year and come back to Tottenham next year, Paul. Get his one trophy just to make sure he gets it before he comes back.
There's an Arsenal fan speaking for you, isn't it? I'm not so sure it'll be the only one. You know, Tottenham's still got a chance this year without him. I can't see him coming back next year. He's having too much fun in the Bundesliga and he's scoring for fun, playing really well week in and week out. I think he went through that spell over Christmas where he didn't score an open play. His goals were from set plays, penalties more so. But listen, he's started scoring again. And you look at his numbers and his figures, it looks a bargain, doesn't it? You know, the amount of goals that he's scored in that league at the moment. I mean, there's potentially one day that he's coming back to Tottenham or to England. You can't imagine him coming back to England and playing for another club. But as far as back in a Tottenham shirt, I don't see it anytime soon.